Blood Python Association leader Muyang's eyes turned cold. I'm not borrowing from you. I'm asking you if you have spotted any good prey recently? We too have ordered our subordinates to search for prey, Vice President Liamo explained, but you are aware, Association leader, that the true gods of void space within Huang City are all very cautious. They do not reveal their treasures, making it difficult to select suitable prey. In the past era, I slaughtered 122 true gods of void space, gaining a total of 1,800 cosmic sand. I keep 1/10 and you take 9/10. I have already given it to you. In the last era, I slaughtered 132 prey, gaining a total of 1,200 cosmic sand, and I've also given you your share, Vice Chairman Mulin said. We have all sworn on the cause and effect contract. We would not lie about these things. Muyang said coldly, what I want are good prey. Not these inferior ones. Both vice presidents shook their heads. We can't find any good prey. The city owner's mansion has already set the minimum criteria, said Vice President Liamo. The number of true gods of void space within the city that can be killed is very limited, and they are extremely cautious. Even if they obtain treasures, they would not reveal them publicly. Vice Chairman Mulin expressed his concern. Association leader, you have earned enough since establishing the Blood Python Association. You weren't as anxious before. Why have you been increasingly anxious lately? He and the association leader were from the same tribe and had drifted together to Huang City, so he could say many things that Vice President Liamo dared not say. How are the residence fees we collected? The Blood Python Association leader pressed. Has there been any increase? The massive number of true gods in the city mostly hunt exotic beasts for a living. Every time they venture out and make a hefty profit, they return to live stably within the city. Besides the occasional shopping, they mostly seclude themselves and do not come out. We simply cannot collect residence fees, Vice President Liamo said, shaking his head. Is there any overall growth? Muyang pressed further. No, Liamo shook his head, it has probably even declined this era. A bunch of useless trash. Muyang was furious. The Blood Python Association maintains so many subordinates to find suitable prey within the city and to collect residence fees. Not finding prey and even experiencing a decline in residence fees this era? What use do these incompetents serve? Expel those incapable from the Blood Python Association. Maintaining a subordinate also bears a significant cost. Subordinates must also pay the city owner's mansion a residence fee of 1 primal chaos crystal per era, in addition to needing cultivation resources. Thus, the average cost of maintaining a true god-level subordinate each era is about 3 primal chaos crystals. The stronger the subordinate, the higher the maintenance cost. A vast dark force has high operational costs. After all, collecting residence fees from a multitude of residents, you can't expect the eternal true gods to do it, can you? Finding fat sheep is no easy task. The city owner's mansion has rules. As long as those true gods live within a cave mansion, the city owner's mansion guarantees their absolute safety. In many places within Huang City filled with true gods, if we make a move, we will be discovered by other true gods. Once there is concrete evidence, the city owner's mansion must arrest the culprit, said Mulin, shaking his head. The city owner's mansion ensures these residents' safety in various ways, making it hard for us to collect residence fees. The city owner's mansion collects residence fees as an official collection. Every true god must pay. Once paid, they receive various protections, and this is why many true gods aspire to live in a big city. Dark forces also collect residence fees, but the vast majority of residents try all means to avoid it, like usually hiding in cave mansions. They travel to places with many true gods, or even groups of true gods act collectively. The Blood Python Association is being supported by me. You too think of some solutions. Association leader Muyang's eyes were even more fierce. How do you find good prey? How do you collect more residence fees? We'll think of something, the two vice presidents verbally agreed, but since the Blood Python Association has been operating for so long, all usable methods had already been employed. Association leader Muyang suddenly looked outside. Moli Meng is here, you two go out first. All right, Liamo and Mulin, the two vice presidents, breathed a sigh of relief and promptly left. Soon a middle-aged man with 4 purple curved horns, Moli Meng, walked in. Here to collect again. Association leader Muyang sighed. This era's 50,000 cosmic sand, it's time you gave them to me. Moli Meng looked at him. Surely you can't fail to pay after losing 20,000 cosmic sand to Luo He? Association leader Muyang shook his head. Merely 50,000 cosmic sand, of course I can afford it. But Moli Meng, doesn't the Blood Python Association's minimal territory require way too many cosmic sand payments every era? Perhaps it could be less. No way, Moli Meng looked at him and lightly chuckled. Unless you dissolve the Blood Python Association and give up the territory. The rules of Huang City are clear. Whichever dark force controls the territory must pay the cosmic sand. This is the bottom line of the 5 great families. Association leader Muyang was quite frustrated. While competing with other dark forces for territory previously, he also did not want to pay fees to the 5 great families and suffered their punishment. He suffered a great loss that time and eventually had to step back, which only then did the 5 great families tolerate him. In that case, can the Blood Python Association have a higher quota for slaughters each era? Association leader Muyang said, each era the death rate within the city cannot exceed 1,000th, but this rate is too low. True gods and true gods of void space in the city naturally have conflicts and conflicts across a long era, with a normal death rate approaching 1,000th already, leaving us with too few quotas to kill. No more than 1,000th. Muyang calmly said, in the recent era your blood python association should have assassinated over 1,000,000 true gods within the city, and perhaps hundreds of true gods of void space. That's enough. The true gods of Huang City are countless, and what we've killed is far from the normal death rate. Muyang shook his head, handing over a jade vial to Muyang, 50,000 cosmic sand, not one less. Muyang took it and his expression eased somewhat, then said, I remind you recently over several eras, your blood python has done some over-the-line things. What thing? I'm not aware of it, said Muyang in surprise. Don't pin everything on me. Muyang gave him a look, then turned and left without saying more. Muyang watched him leave. The 5 great families of the city owner's mansion are the most ruthless. President Muyang's eyes were cold, but he was well aware that once the bottom line was crossed, the 5 great families would spare no cost to completely crush the Blood Python Association. Every era, all members of the Blood Python Association need a large amount of cosmic sand, and so do the 5 great families. That Luo he even took away 20,000 units of cosmic sand, lamented President Muyang, feeling quite impoverished. This era alone hasn't brought in much profit. With a thought from Muyang, the formation in the hall activated, completely isolating it from the outside world. In front of him, the void condensed into a mirror, within which was the figure of a person wearing a white robe and a red mask. Divine Monarch Shui Yun. President Muyang became somewhat more humble. The most terrifying 2 powers in Huang City were, naturally, the ruling power of the 5 great families of the city owner's mansion and the forces of the Shure Kingdom. Lurking among the Shure Kingdom's forces was a supremely terrifying existence known as Shui Yun. The conflict between the Shure Kingdom's forces and the 5 great families of the city owner's mansion was the most intense, not just minor skirmishes against dark forces. President Muyang, why have you suddenly contacted me? Shui Yun's voice was calm, seemingly without any fluctuation. The latter part of the primordial iron blood sand technique requires 1,000,000 units of cosmic sand, which I really cannot gather, President Muyang said. Could I perhaps have some cosmic sand on credit first? I can pay half up front. Shui Yun chuckled lightly, relying on the bloodline cultivation method. Refining to the primal chaos realm is your limit, whereas the primordial iron blood sand technique is a perfection-level bloodline cultivation method for the primal chaos realm and especially suits you. Such a cultivation method is a rare opportunity for you. If it weren't for your great contributions, we would not have given you this purchasing opportunity. I know, but 1,000,000 units of cosmic sand is just too hard to gather, said President Muyang. You have this purchasing opportunity because you work for our Shure Kingdom. You wouldn't be able to buy it at all in the Flame Wind Pavilion, Shui Yun stated. President Muyang of course understood. The Shure Kingdom was generous enough to offer something like the primordial iron blood sand technique, a top-tier bloodline cultivation method, which naturally drove Muyang mad with desire. Ordinary cultivation methods would leave him hopeless to ever reach the primal chaos realm. But such perfect bloodline cultivation methods at least gave him a glimmer of hope to reach the primal chaos realm. You're slowly earning through the Blood Python Association, which naturally means slower profits, Shui Yun said softly. If you want to earn more, you'll have to take some risks. Think about it yourself. Then the connection was cut off. President Muyang pondered. He had dealings with all sides in Huang City, entangled quite deeply with both the city owner's mansion and the Shure Kingdom's forces. Normal business within Huang City, all under the infiltration of the city owner's mansion, can't make too much. It requires time to slowly accumulate. To earn a significant sum, some risk must be taken. President Muyang's eyes grew colder. Once I get the primordial iron blood sand technique, I'll leave Huang City immediately. Let the city owner's mansion and the Shure Kingdom's forces fight as fiercely as they will, I'll stay out of it. Primal Chaos Armor's Cave Mansion number 913. Atop a high mountain, Luo Feng sat on a large rock, drinking alone. In reality he was operating the Great Destruction Heart Refining Technique, and his spiritual will was continuously being destroyed and worn down, which made each condensation of his spiritual will more refined. This was normal adaptation to survival. Under such strong destruction and wear, each condensation naturally had to resist this kind of destruction and wear. Short-term improvements were not as effective as the 7 emotions of heart refining technique, but the advantage of the Great Destruction Heart Refining Technique was that it could be carried out long-term and over time the results were good. With Shang Tianyan's guidance I should be able to fully understand the theory of the second layer of the Primal Chaos Great Strength Diagram soon. Luo Feng with his deep understanding of the laws naturally comprehended quickly, but even if I fully understand it, what can I do? Poor. I simply cannot afford the materials required for the second body refinement. Luo Feng also felt the headache. The first body refinement, merely foundational, already consumed materials worth 100,000 units of cosmic sand. According to estimates, the second body refinement will require many times more materials. The third body refinement again will increase several-fold. Where can I gather so much cosmic sand? Luo Feng was quite vexed. With his current strength to significantly enhance his power, he either needed to break through the great realm of peak will of primal chaos realm, or undergo the second body refinement of perfect divine body. His godly body was too massive, and his divine power incredibly pure, so each body refinement offered significant growth. Advancing the will can't be rushed. It requires daily accumulation and gradually honing oneself. Luo Feng understood this. As for the materials for the second body refinement, I need to think of a solution. Alas, I'm just too poor. Thinking this, Luo Feng triggered a thought and began scouting for bounty missions using the Flame Wind Association's Dark Hall's transmission order. The bounty missions of the Flame Wind Association's Dark Hall also are categorized into protection, hiring, assassination, and others, among which the assassination missions undoubtedly offer the highest bounties. Look at the ones with high bounties, Luo Feng said as he drank and studied the assassination missions. The highest bounty mission, to kill the Supreme Commander of the Huang Legion Moli Xiao, with a bounty of 1.2 million cosmic sand. Those who can offer 1.2 million cosmic sand as a bounty and are not afraid of the city owner's mansion are very likely from the Shure Kingdom, Luo Feng speculated. According to the rules of the Flame Wind Association's Dark Hall, for assassination missions, the bounty must be paid in advance to the Flame Wind Pavilion. If the mission is not completed, the bounty remains with the Flame Wind Pavilion. Without sufficient backing, no one would be willing to leave such a massive fortune there for long. The second highest bounty mission, to kill the leader of the Shure Kingdom's forces within Huang City, Shui Yun, with a bounty of 1 million cosmic sand. The third highest bounty mission, to kill the leader of the Zhu clan, Zhu Hu, with a bounty of 530,000 cosmic sand. The fourth highest bounty mission, to kill the puppet shadow master Chun Yui, with a bounty of 180,000 cosmic sand. The seventh highest bounty mission, to kill the Blood Python Association leader, Muyang, with a bounty of 120,000 cosmic sand. Luo Feng noticed the familiar bounty for the Blood Python leader which ranked 7th. The enemies of the Blood Python leader surely were generous. The top 3 bounties are quite high, and then there is a notable drop afterward, Luo Feng noted. Having received detailed intelligence about Huang City from Shang Tianyan, he was also familiar with the information on these mighty figures listed in the bounty missions. Moli Xiao, the strongest amongst the 5 great families of the city owner's mansion, and the supreme commander of the Huang Legion. His individual strength is extremely formidable, and the royal capital of Yu Kingdom sent him to command a large city, equipped him with the best Legion mechanical stream secret treasures, and his royal guard army is incomparably elite. Already powerful individually and commanding a legion, Moli Xiao is extremely fearsome. Shui Yun, the leader of the Shure Kingdom's forces within Huang City. He has long been lurking in Huang City, causing significant losses to the 5 great families of the city owner's mansion, who have always been unable to deal with him. Both individuals are very strong with extraordinary backgrounds. They have also clashed more than once. Zhu clan's Zhu Hu ranked 3rd? Luo Feng was curious. The Zhu clan is a native family in Huang City, honestly doing business supposedly without many enemies. How come Zhu Hu's bounty is even higher than those of the Dark Forces leaders? Most crucially, with a long-term bounty of 530,000 cosmic sand, the Zhu clan remains stable. From these assassination missions, Luo Feng could see that within Huang City, Moli Xiao, Shui Yun, and Zhu Hu were not to be trifled with. Of course, people like the Flame Wind Pavilion's master like me and those few recluses living in Huang City, we have no bounties, Luo Feng said with a smile. Having no bounty doesn't mean being weak. Which of these assassination missions should I choose? Luo Feng pondered. Hiring and protection missions require much time and energy for less reward. Naturally, he would choose an assassination mission. Leaders of dark forces who commit all kinds of evil can be considered as options, Luo Feng thought. He always prepared before he acted and only killed those who deserved it. Since leaders of dark forces did countless evils, they naturally made the list of options. The bounty for the Blood Python leader is a bit low, Luo Feng shook his head slightly. 3 dark forces leaders had bounties higher than the Blood Python leader, surely warranting further research. The first time taking a bounty mission must be a success. Preparations had to be made. Luo Feng sat on a large stone on a high mountain, studying potential targets, when suddenly a figure flew nearby. Master, Morosa said, Moyu Hu has come to visit. Moyu Hu. Luo Feng was surprised. The first true god of void space he met upon arriving at the land of origin had been Moyu Hu. While you were secluded for over a decade, Moyu Hu also came to visit, Morosa said. Knowing the master was in seclusion, he did not disturb you further. This is his second visit. Luo Feng smiled. The second time? Let him come in first. All right, Morosa nodded but couldn't help adding, Master, should we perhaps hire a few servants? Hire servants? We're focused on cultivation in the cave mansion, occasionally drinking and eating some fruit which we can prepare in advance. What do we need servants for? Luo Feng chuckled. And when we're out, aren't you my servant? Morosa spoke softly. Master, your fame in Huang City is growing and more people are visiting you. I have to guard the door and also serve as a servant. Luo Feng laughed. Whenever guests visited, the sole servant Morosa needed to prepare fine wines and food, and be on hand to serve. Although Morosa was disguising his strength, he was, after all, an eternal true god-level sector beast, and he was continuously growing stronger, perhaps even faster than Luo Feng himself, making it really unfitting for him to perform menial tasks. It's my fault, Luo Feng smiled. Don't worry, I'll hire some servants in the next few days. I'm not in that much of a hurry, Morosa grinned and flew towards the entrance of the cave mansion to bring Moyu Hu in. Moyu Hu appeared somewhat restrained and nervous as he followed Morosa, flying up the high mountain. Greetings, Supreme, Moyu Hu said respectfully. As a true god of void space, he ranked among the middle echelons in Huang City. The latest hot news in the entire Huang City was that a dark force, Blood Python Association, had been forced to bow down by an eternal true god named Luo He, and Moyu Hu was well aware of this. Luo Feng sat leisurely looking at Moyu Hu. What brings you to me? The Supreme has said that I could ask for his help. Moyu Hu was somewhat nervous, but he knew from his understanding of the Supreme Lord Luo He that he was an eternal true god with a good temper. Yes, I have promised, Luo Feng smiled. My promise is very valuable. Is this how you plan to use it up? Moyu Hu flicked his hand, and a small gray hammer appeared in his hand. He held the hammer respectfully. This weapon is my greatest discovery in life. I found it exploring treasures outside the city, where I fortuitously discovered the body of an eternal true god. The most precious item was the weapon that belonged to the eternal true god. I am willing to offer this weapon to the Supreme, only wishing for a chance for my child to become an apprentice. Luo Feng looked surprised at the small hammer. This is indeed an eternal true god level weapon secret treasure. From my estimate, it values around 6,000 cosmic sands. You, a mere true god of void space, having such a discovery. And yet you dare to show it in front of me? Aren't you afraid I would kill you and take it? Such a treasure I dare not sell to any power because the slightest leak of information and my entire family would be gone. Moyu Hu looked at Luo Feng. I haven't met many eternal true gods, but the only one I trust is the Supreme. Last time he guided the way he wasn't killed, wasn't robbed, and even got a chance to help. Moyu Hu then decided to bet on Luo Feng's nature. Haha. Luo Feng beckoned with his hand, picking up the small hammer. I do not take disciples lightly. Eternal true gods do not take disciples lightly either, they usually require trials, Moyu Hu said. I only hope the Supreme can give a chance for a trial. Luo Feng said, you should know that I have conflicts with the Blood Python Association. Yes, Moyu Hu nodded. The news has spread throughout Huang City. From this conflict, Moyu Hu could see how powerful the Supreme was. If his child could apprentice under the Supreme, that truly would be a grand opportunity. Luo Feng said, in the future I will have conflicts with other dark forces. The eternal true gods who hold grudges against me are likely not few. If your child follows me he might get involved. Moyu Hu was secretly alarmed. Already having conflicts with the Blood Python Association, and now with other dark forces? Since following the Supreme, naturally both fortune and misfortune must be born. Moyu Hu replied decisively as he very clearly understood that he dared only offer the small hammer to Luo Feng. How many children do you have? Luo Feng asked. 3 children, the Supreme can choose any one of them. Moyu Hu immediately offered a book respectfully. This is the detailed information about all 3 of my children. Luo Feng beckoned it over. You are indeed well prepared, but let me be clear in advance, I now only seek one servant. He needs to undergo a trial, and if he fails the trial he cannot become my disciple. Moreover, the trial will be very long. Having the opportunity to be a servant for the Supreme is great fortune for my child, Moyu Hu promptly said. Good, Luo Feng nodded. Bring your 3 children here and I will choose one to be my servant. Moyu Hu showed joy. I will bring them right away. He respectfully took his leave and quickly departed. Master. Morosa looked at the small hammer Luo Feng was fiddling with in his hands, unbelievingly said, you recruit a servant, and also just earned a weapon secret treasure valued at 6,000 cosmic sands? Luo Feng laughed. I said I'd recruit a servant within 2 days. Now I have. Wasn't that fast? Fast. Morosa praised. And master, you truly know how to earn 6,000 cosmic sands to become my servant. It's not a loss, Luo Feng laughed. I am also master's servant. To be on the same level as me, of course he doesn't lose. Morosa was delighted as many of the more mundane tasks could now be handed to Moyu Hu's child. Morosa said, Master, in the future I can help you teach the child. No need for you to bother. That way he would have even more reason to order the child around. Good, if I take him as a disciple then you will be his second master, Luo Feng said, but I won't accept a disciple easily. If he doesn't meet the minimum requirements he can just be a servant for life. Morosa nodded. Let me and master teach together, the threshold for acceptance ought to be higher. Moyu Hu returned home. His house was a modestly located small cave mansion that he had bought for 1,000 primal chaos crystals. It was considered average among the residences of true gods of void space. Father. The 3 young true gods were waiting, aware that their father was going to visit the eternal true god Luo He. Seeing their father return they were somewhat excited. Moyu Hu smiled at his 3 children. In the land of origin, love is a luxury. After all, most true gods live and cultivate under harsh conditions, let alone find a wife and have children. Moyu Hu was fortunate. He had met his true love and together they had raised 3 children. Since his wife's death, Moyu Hu's greatest concern had been his 3 children, whose lives he valued more than his own. Supreme Lord Luo He has agreed to give an opportunity. He will choose one of you 3 to be a servant, Moyu Hu said. Being a servant, undergoing many trials, only then might one eventually become a disciple of Supreme Lord Luo He. If you can't pass the trials, you won't become a disciple of the eternal true God. We understand. It's a rare opportunity and we will strive for it. The 3 brothers grew up in Huang City and were well aware of the value of this opportunity. Moyu Hu nodded. Let's leave right now. Moyu Hu led his 3 brothers to the front gate of Luo Feng's cave dwelling. The primal chaos armor sector's cave mansion. The eyes of the 3 brothers from the Moyu family were fervid. This area was legendary throughout Huang City, neighboring the primal chaos ruins. Those residing here were among the most terrifying beings in Huang City, and in the past, the 3 brothers would not have dared to come near. Father is indeed remarkable, to have secured such an opportunity for us. This is the greatest opportunity of my life. I must seize it even if it means risking my life. The eldest of the Moyu brothers was the most burly, with eyes sharp as knives. Both my eldest brother and youngest brother have higher talent than me. With Supreme Lord Luo He choosing one among the 3 of us, my hopes are the slimmest, thought the second Moyu brother, yet he hadn't given up. I must strive with all my might. The eldest brother has the greatest talent, mused the youngest Moyu brother. It's hard to know how the eternal true God will select his disciple. As the 3 brothers harbored their own thoughts, Moyu Hu had already stepped forward and lightly tapped on the door, sending an invisible ripple spreading. Soon, the honest-looking Morosa opened the door and glanced at them. Come in. Yes, Moyu Hu responded with a very humble attitude, leading the 3 children into the cave mansion. As the 3 brothers entered such a vast and expansive cave mansion, they felt nervous. The chaos aura here was incredibly rich, almost to the point where primal chaos stones could condense from it. Inside the pavilion, we pay our respects to the Supreme, respectfully saluted Moyu Hu, while the 3 brothers knelt down immediately. Rise, said Luo Feng, holding a book that contained the information on the 3 Moyu brothers. Among you 3 brothers, the eldest is at the 9th realm of True God, and the other 2 are at the 6th realm of True God, Luo Feng spoke. However, in my eyes the realm of True God has no significance. The hearts of the 3 brothers trembled. I will choose one of you to be my servant, Luo Feng declared. The time of servitude will be very very long. Only by passing my trials may you become my disciple. We understand, the eldest Moyu Lai Feng, the second Moyu Qingyan, and the youngest Moyu Liuxing, all responded with utmost respect. I'll make the conditions clear beforehand. Those who are unwilling to be servants can speak up now, but once you become my servant, there will be no chance for regrets, stated Luo Feng. The 3 brothers listened attentively. Luo Feng said leisurely, being my servant is dangerous. There will be a number of eternal true gods who want to kill me in the future, and you may get involved. I can't guarantee I'll always be able to protect you. So as my servant, you must be prepared for death. The eldest brother, Moyu Lai Feng, said, since we follow the Supreme, we naturally bear our own fortunes and misfortunes. We do not fear death, we only fear not having the chance, added the second brother, Moyu Qingyan. The youngest brother, Moyu Liuxing, hesitated before inquiring, may I ask the Supreme, will the Supreme's eternal true God enemies be numerous? Numerous, and they will be unscrupulous, Luo Feng replied with a smile. In his assassination missions, Luo Feng was most eager to deal with the covert leader of Shure Kingdom, Bloodlight, known for his violent and brutal methods, and his identity piqued Luo Feng's interest in hunting. The only problem was that he did not know Bloodlight's whereabouts. After all, even with the 5 great families of the city owner's mansion putting forth all their efforts against Shure Kingdom's infiltrating powers, wanting to kill Bloodlight, he remained cautious and well hidden, making it difficult for Luo Feng to find an opportunity. Having decided to take on some assassination missions, Luo Feng knew that enemies in the future would not be few. Of course, he and Morosa, one in the light and one in the dark, would do their best to ensure the safety of their servants. Father, I give up, said Moyu Liuxing. Moyu Hu looked at his youngest son but wasn't surprised. His youngest son was born latest when he and his wife were in better circumstances, leading to a more comfortable upbringing for the child. I'd rather cultivate in peace, said Moyu Liuxing, who disliked a life filled with danger. All right, one has given up, Luo Feng nodded. After becoming my servant, I will not offer him cultivation guidance or resources. The eldest Moyu Lai Feng and second Moyu Qingyan were both startled. He will need to comprehend the laws on his own, Luo Feng continued. After grasping the 10 fundamental laws, he may pass the first trial. Only after enduring many trials can he qualify to become my disciple. To glean the 10 fundamental laws without any guidance? The surprise was palpable for the eldest and second Moyu brothers. Creatures born in the land of origin could almost always become true gods, precisely because they relied on the bloodline cultivation method. If one chose the path of laws, the proportion of creatures reaching true god status would diminish drastically. Grasping the 10 fundamental laws is exceedingly difficult. Since birth, we have followed the bloodline cultivation method. Even if we exhaust our lives, it would be extremely difficult to perceive the 10 fundamental laws, Moyu Lai Feng said, and if we're unable to perceive them. If you're unable to perceive them, naturally you cannot become my disciple, Luo Feng stated. Even having perceived them, there are still other trials to pass. Moyu Lai Feng was reluctant but still declared, I give up. Moyu Hu watched his eldest son, who could endure hardships and was very determined. However, the challenge of perceiving the 10 fundamental laws made him choose to give up voluntarily. And you? Luo Feng turned his gaze to the remaining Moyu brother, the second Moyu Qingyan. Will you give up? I am willing to follow the Supreme, Moyu Qingyan answered without hesitation. Luo Feng nodded in satisfaction and then said to Moyu Hu, Moyu Qingyan it is then. From now on he is my servant. Thank you, Supreme. Moyu Hu had observed his children's choices from the beginning. Aware of his son's temperaments, he was not surprised by their decisions. Luo Feng nodded. From now on Moyu Qingyan will live here. Then we shall take our leave. Moyu Hu respectfully bid farewell, leading the other two children away, leaving only the second son, Moyu Qingyan, behind with Luo Feng. As I said, I will not guide you and will not provide you with cultivation resources. Luo Feng addressed Moyu Qingyan. You must diligently comprehend the 10 fundamental laws. As for the minor matters within the cave dwelling, follow Luo Sa's arrangements. Yes, Supreme, Moyu Qingyan said respectfully. Kid, you need to call the master just like me, Morosa said. Yes, master, Moyu Qingyan obediently replied. Luo Sa, help me teach him well. Luo Feng waved his hand dismissively. He wouldn't give any advice or resources, but he didn't forbid Morosa from giving some guidance. Kid, come with me. Morosa stretched out his hand and grabbed Moyu Qingyan by the neck, happily walking out. From now on he could order Moyu Qingyan to serve him and the master. Luo Feng watched the scene with a smile. The biggest flaw in the bloodline cultivation system was its shaky foundation. It relied solely on the power of the bloodline to progress until eventually hitting an insurmountable bottleneck. Both the Duandong River lineage and God King Jin's lineage noted in their heritage that the top families in the land of origin insisted that their members at least master the 10 fundamental laws. Understanding these basic laws made it much easier to comprehend the bloodline cultivation method. The path of bloodline cultivation would then be much more promising. As my disciple, even if you can't follow the law lineage at the very least, your journey in bloodline cultivation should take you far, Luo Feng thought. In the land of origin, the environment for perceiving the laws is much better than in the primordial cosmos. And Morosa might give some tips occasionally. If he can't master the 10 fundamental laws even under these conditions, then he truly is worthless and doesn't deserve to be my disciple. Moyu Hu and the two children returned to their dwelling. The path you choose is your own, just don't regret it, Moyu Hu spoke only after arriving home. Father, I am not afraid of death, but I fear having no chance to rise, the eldest Moyu Laifeng said solemnly. I am already at the 9th realm of true God. With more effort I might reach the state of the true God of void space. And concerning the so-called 10 fundamental laws, I've tried to comprehend them before, and fear that I may not grasp them in my lifetime. The third child, Moyu Liuxing, smiled. Father, I willingly chose my own path. Good, no complaints then. Moyu Hu nodded and didn't say much. Their paths were theirs to forge. And he also felt that the path of his second son, Moyu Qingyan, would not be an easy one. Night fell. Inside the large cave mansion of the Diarong clan. Qi went to the Moli clan again. She's quite close to Moli Feiyun, the old man with the fuzzy tail thought. She spends more time with Moli Feiyun than with me, her father. He was actually quite pleased. After all, the Moli clan was one of the 5 great families. Suddenly, a blood-red aura instantly burst into the large cave dwelling. The formations that were constantly operating within the mansion were torn apart in the blink of an eye. Who is it? The old man Diarong Yen with red eyebrows changed his complexion drastically, and a terrifying fluctuation burst out from the center of his being, the dazzling red light spreading directly towards that blood-red aura. The cosmos is formed in a thought. My dwelling is enveloped and completely isolated from the outside world. Diarong Yen knew something was wrong and immediately manifested his massive true body, a creature with fuzzy tail and erect red fur. What's happening? What's going on? The members of the Diarong clan inside the mansion, seeing Diarong Yan's towering true body, were somewhat panicked. I didn't expect you, a mere alchemist, to have some tricks up your sleeve. A cold voice resonated within Diarong Yan's consciousness. Unfortunately, before me they are worth nothing. Boom boom boom. Diarong Yan said urgently, please stop, we can talk this over. A gigantic blood-colored hand appeared out of nowhere, and in the moment it appeared, it grasped Diarong Yan's true body, causing it to disintegrate immediately. What followed was an endless sweep of blood light across the entire mansion, eradicating all creatures within it, whether they were from the Diarong clan or were servants and guards. At the city owner's mansion in Huang City, inside a hall, the cave dwelling of the Diarong clan has suddenly been enveloped by a small cosmic domain, and a massive burst of divine power has been detected in that area. A group of officials responsible for monitoring the entire city noticed the disturbance at the location of the Diarong clan's dwelling. Quickly report to the city lord. Inside the cave mansion of the Moli clan, Diarong Qi and Moli Feiyun, the two women, were sipping wine and chatting leisurely. I like my senior brother, but he doesn't care about me. Moli Feiyun was slightly tipsy from drinking. I want to become a disciple, to take Commander Moli Xiao as my master, but Commander Moli Xiao doesn't think much of me. I want to take Lord Luo He as my master, but Lord Luo He looks down on me as well. Diarong Qi said in annoyance as she drank her wine. Suddenly, Diarong Qi received a message on her transmission token. Qi, my killer is the Blood Python Association leader, Muyang. You must remember this. A message of final words came through. A small cosmic domain isolated the inside from the outside. Normal transmission tokens couldn't send information through. However, Diarong Yen used an expensive karmic messenger order, managing to send out a message before death. Father. Diarong Qi jerked awake, completely sobered. What's wrong? Moli Feiyun asked in a daze. Diarong Qi sat there in a daze, tears streaming down her face. Little Qi, what's wrong? Moli Feiyun asked her crying friend, instantly sobered, and quickly inquired, what happened? My father is dead, Diarongqi said blankly. While her father was alive, she was the privileged daughter of a large clan, mingling only with the descendants of great families in Huang City. She even looked down on becoming a disciple of ordinary eternal true gods, wanting to be apprenticed to the openly strongest commander Moli Xiao in Huang City, or at the very least to Lord Luo He, who could suppress the dark forces. Choosing her alchemy-proficient father, an ordinary eternal true god, was not exactly what Diarongqi had been willing to settle for. But now that her father was gone, and had left her a way out in his final message, she found it somewhat unbearable. Father. Diarongqi knew well that her father was the one who loved her the most in this world, willing to give everything for her, a dear relative. Uncle Yen is dead? Moli Feiyun couldn't believe it. How is that possible? Uncle Yen was an eternal true god who killed him. He was indeed killed. Isai rose. It was Moli Meng, the one currently in power of the Moli clan. As for Moli Xiao, he had no energy to manage family trivialities. Father, Moli Feiyun looked at her own father. Just now, every creature in the main branch's cave mansion of the Diarong family was killed, without a single survivor, Moli Meng said. Now only some of the branches of the Diarong family remain. The size of a cave mansion was limited, and some large clans had to be dispersed, especially the peripheral branches which could only live in ordinary cave mansions. Ironically, the core of the Diarong family was the one eradicated this time. Father, who is the murderer? Moli Feiyun asked. Diarongqi also looked toward Moli Meng. Moli Meng said, before Diarong Yen died, he contacted many of his friends through the karmic messenger order, indicating that the murderer was association leader Muyang of the blood python. My father also sent a transmission saying that the murderer was the leader of the blood python, Diarongqi said hoarsely. The entire cave mansion, including my father and tens of thousands of creatures, from eternal true gods to the young children of our clan, not a single one was spared. With the definitive evidence of my father's own transmission, the city owner's mansion should act right. Moli Meng shook his head. The leader of the blood python is not an ordinary eternal true god. He controls a force of his own, and killing him is not easy. It requires discussion among the 5 great families to decide. Plus, your father's pre-death transmission does not count as definitive evidence. The murderer could have completely impersonated the leader of the blood python. Impersonation? Diarongqi was anxious. Can't we trust my father's last transmission? Some secret techniques of impersonation are hard even for eternal true gods to see through, Moli Meng said. In any case, to conclusively determine the identity of the murderer and to get the city owner's mansion to act, is very difficult. Diarongqi fell silent. After your father's death, it will be difficult for you, a true god of void space, to control his many properties, the numerous alchemy cave mansions, shops and so on, Moli Meng said shaking his head. The Moli clan can help take them over. Father. Moli Feiyun began anxiously. Rest assured, I would not stoop to take such a small advantage. These assets are valued at 20,000 cosmic sand, and will be deposited in your name in the Flame Wind Pavilion, Moli Meng said. It's not suitable for you to carry so much cosmic sand on you. Thank you, Uncle Meng, Diarongqi gratefully said, knowing full well the price was definitely not low. Within Huang City, those confident in killing the leader of the blood python can be counted on one hand, Moli Meng said. So to kill him, you need to have enough patience to wait for the right opportunity. Diarongqi asked, can Commander Moli act? I can give up the 20,000 cosmic sand. It's not as simple as you think, Moli Meng replied as he turned to leave. Little Qi, you can stay with me, no one will threaten you, Moli Feiyun said. Feiyun, I just want to be alone for a while, Diarongqi said softly. Alright, I won't disturb you, Moli Feiyun said as she got up to leave. Diarongqi sat there alone, staring blankly at the night sky, at the countless twinkling stars. Just now, the star belonging to her father must have entirely dimmed as well. Father. At that moment, Diarongqi missed her father immensely, and then her eyes turned wild. Through the transmission token, Diarongqi made contact with the Flame Wind Association's dark hall from afar. Diarongqi, after your father Diarong Yen died, he left you 30,000 cosmic sand in the dark hall. And Moli Meng has also deposited 20,000 cosmic sand for you, so now you have 50,000 cosmic sand in your name, the dark hall responded to her. I want to offer a bounty of 40,000 cosmic sand for the head of association leader Muyang of the blood python, Diarongqi transmitted back, believing in her father's judgment of the murderer's identity as he lay dying. Understood, the bounty for the leader of the blood python has now been raised to 160,000 cosmic sand. You still have 10,000 cosmic sand in your name, the dark hall responded. After upping the bounty, Diarongqi could only wait in silence, hoping a powerful individual would take the offer and kill the leader of the blood python. At the headquarters of the blood python association. Moli Meng, why have you come? The leader of the blood python said with a smile as he looked at Moli Meng. Moli Meng's face was grim. Have you lost your mind? Diarong Yen focused on alchemy, contributing to the entirety of Huang City and not meddling in your dark force struggles. Why did you attack him? Acting so recklessly will only cause panic among many families in Huang City. If the 5 great families deem you a threat to the stability of the entire city, you are finished. It wasn't me who killed him. The murderer impersonated me, the leader of the blood python said urgently. The leader of the Shure Kingdom's forces, Shui Yun, is very good at impersonating, and I suspect it was him pretending to be me. Before his death, Diarongyen was certain the murderer was you, Molly Ming sneered. To leave such clear evidence of your identity in such a criminal act shows just how incapable you really are. It really wasn't me, the leader of the blood python said. Inside Huang City, everyone must abide by the rules. Molly Ming gave him a look then turned to leave. If you don't follow the rules, the consequences might be more than you can handle. With that, Molly Ming had already disappeared. Association leader Muyang of the blood python watched Molly Ming leave, his expression eventually settling into calm. What does it matter if I don't play by the rules? In this world, strength is ultimately what is respected most, blood python leader Muyang sneered. If I kill one, what can the many families within Huang City do? If they dare to move against me, they'd better be prepared to die. It's just a pity that Diarongyen was such trash. Killing him and even plundering his entire cave mansion, I only managed to get a total of 220,000 cosmic sand. Blood python leader shook his head. An eternal true god ranked in the top 3 in Huang City for alchemy, I estimated him to be quite the fat sheep. Unfortunately, it amounted to so little. If all else fails, I'll have to use my armor treasure as collateral, blood python leader thought inwardly. I must buy the lower part of the primordial iron blood sand technique, as soon as possible. Otherwise, if I delay too long, I will be completely entangled by Shure Kingdom's forces and won't be able to save my own life. He was well aware of how dangerous the conflict between the 5 great families and Shure Kingdom's forces was. He had been involved because of inheritance and only thought of gaining the inheritance quickly and then fleeing far away. The longer the delay, the more dangerous it became. I must gather 1 million cosmic sand as soon as possible. The eyes of blood python leader were ice cold. Time passed slowly in the land of origin. The night came and the day followed. Various major powers within Huang City all knew about Diarongyen's death, and had also heard that the murderer might be blood python leader Muyang. The bounty on Muyang at the Flame Wind Pavilion's Dark Hall had reached 160,000 cosmic sand. Some of my father's friends would want to offer a reward, but now that my father is dead, none of them would help. Diarongchi within the Moli family had been checking the bounty. The bounty hadn't changed and nobody completed the mission. Fourth in the bounty list is a dark force leader known as Chun Yui, with a bounty of 180,000 cosmic sand. For eons he has lived well. Now blood python leader's bounty is 160,000 cosmic sand, ranking 5th. Who would kill him? Diarongchi repeatedly looked at the bounty missions, hoping for some changes in the list. But the previous long night had brought no such changes. Diarongchi only felt powerless. After her father's death, there was nothing much she could do. Miss Supreme Lord Luo he has arrived at the Fire Realm restaurant, Sua Yun who had been waiting at the Fire Realm restaurant transmitted. Luo he. Diarongchi's heart stirred. As soon as Supreme Lord Luo he arrived in Huyang, he didn't take the Blood Python Association seriously. He definitely wouldn't be afraid of Blood Python leader. Blood Python leader's notorious reputation made many forces wary. But clearly, Lord Luo he didn't care about that, which was also why Diarongchi had immediately wanted to seek him as a mentor. So, Diarongchi immediately got up. Little Chi, Moli Feiyun had always been worried about her good friend. I must go out immediately, Diarongchi said. It's not safe for you to go out now, Moli Feiyun said worriedly. It's daytime now with true gods everywhere. It's quite safe. Besides, I must go out. Diarongchi insisted. After thinking for a moment, Moli Feiyun said, I will arrange a guard unit to escort you, and you will take our Moli family's flying boat. Thanks, Diarongchi expressed her gratitude and immediately rushed outside without further ado. Fire Realm Restaurant. Supreme, my young mistress has ordered that all of your expenses at the Fire Realm Restaurant will be borne by her, Sua Yun said with utmost respect. Luo Feng arrived accompanied by Morosa and Moyu Qingyan. Have you been here guarding since I left the Fire Realm Restaurant last time? Luo Feng looked at Sua Yun. Yes, it was the young mistress's order, the guard Sua Yun replied. Thank her for me, Luo Feng said as he headed inside. The owner of Fire Realm Restaurant, Black Butcher, also came forward enthusiastically to welcome them. Inside the small building, Luo Feng and Morosa enjoyed food and wine together, while the servant Moyu Qingyan could only wait outside the building, guarding it diligently. That young miss from the Diarong family seems quite eager to find a master, Morosa commented. Her father died last night, Luo Feng replied. Died? Morosa was surprised. I heard it from a friend, Luo Feng explained as he had received visits from many powers and made some friends. Several eternal true gods including Shang Tianyan had informed him of this news. Luo Feng suddenly mentioned, among Shure Kingdom's covert forces within Huyang City, their leader is called Shui Yun, with a bounty of 1 million cosmic sand. Let's take him down. Morosa's eyes lit up. But we can't find him, Luo Feng thought. Do you have any way to find him? With Morosa's innate mastery of the great Tao of Destruction origin, even without relying on the secret technique of willpower, such as the Lai Yuan technique, Luo Feng didn't think he could necessarily defeat Morosa. If he couldn't find Shui Yun, perhaps Morosa might have a chance. I've never met him, Morosa frowned. If I had seen him once, I might have some methods to locate him. What a pity, Luo Feng shook his head. If they could kill Shui Yun and take the spoils and the hefty bounty, just one would be worth a band of dark force leaders. It would probably be enough for his 3 attempts at body refinement. Too bad they couldn't find him. Master, a voice came from outside. It was Moyu Qingyan's. Diarong Qi is here to visit. She's here? Luo Feng looked at the spread before him at Fire Realm Feast. Let her in. Outside, Moyu Qingyan, who had been guarding seriously, stepped aside and said, the master has allowed you to enter. Diarong Qi glanced at the young true god, then entered the small building alone. Within the small building, Diarong Qi immediately saw Luo Feng and Morosa, both sitting there enjoying the fine food and drinking wine. Diarong Qi pays her respects to the Supreme, Diarong Qi said reverently as she knelt and pressed her forehead to the ground. Speak your business, Luo Feng said leisurely as he poured himself some wine. My father was murdered, and all the creatures in the cave mansion including the children were slaughtered, Diarong Qi said while prostrate. I only wish to avenge my father and all the creatures of the entire cave mansion that died. I asked the city owner's mansion to kill the murderer, but they were unmoved. I increased the bounty at the Flame Wind Pavilion's dark hall, hoping someone would be willing to take action. But I waited all night and still no powerful being stepped forward. I know the Supreme is not afraid of the Blood Python Association, so I have come to beg the Supreme, hoping the Supreme would accept the bounty and kill the Blood Python leader, Diarong Qi pleaded hoarsely. Luo Feng and Morosa both looked at her. What do you offer me in your plea? Luo Feng said, that banquet you've arranged for this occasion? I have nothing left to offer. Nearly all my wealth has been put into the bounty of the Flame Wind Association's dark hall. Now only 10,000 cosmic sand remain. I am also willing to offer these 10,000 cosmic sand to the Supreme, Diarong Qi whispered as she knelt. I know that this bit of cosmic sand is far too little to ask the Supreme to take action. But I have nothing left, only my life remains. I am willing to sell myself into servitude for the Supreme, to serve for a lifetime. I have no other wishes than to seek vengeance, Diarong Qi said with tears in her eyes, her fluffy tail also drooping to the side. Luo Feng looked at her. Sell yourself into servitude? Your father obviously had plans for you, and today you also came aboard the Moli clan's flying boat. You could easily live a carefree life. Now you want to give up everything, sell yourself into servitude, all for the sake of revenge. Yes, Diarong Qi prostrated without any hesitation. Even if I killed the Blood Python leader, your father cannot be brought back to life. To give up a carefree life for a dead father? Luo Feng looked at her, recalling the last time he saw the young miss of the Diarong family, feeling her pride, but now she was completely different. That was my father. He loved me the most in this world, always protecting and cherishing me. His final transmission before his death was all about considering my welfare, arranging a way out for me. Yet, the father who loved me most is gone. The clan members I've grown up with since my birth are gone. Diarong Qi said as she knelt. For the sake of vengeance I can do anything. At no expense. Even if it meant perishing both in body and soul, I would be content. Diarong Qi looked towards Luo Feng. Your father made arrangements for you in his final transmissions? He likely hoped you'd live well, Luo Feng said. You need not sell yourself into servitude. Keep the 10,000 cosmic sand you have left and use it for your own cultivation, and live well just as your father hoped for you. As for your request for me to take action, I was indeed planning to accept a bounty mission. Let the Blood Python leader be my first bounty target, Luo Feng said. Diarong Qi stared at Luo Feng stunned. He would help without needing cosmic sand or her servitude. I am willing to serve the Supreme, Diarong Qi expressed her immense gratitude. There's no need, Luo Feng said lightly, shaking his head. You go back to the Moli clan first and remember, keep this matter a secret. Diarong Qi nodded repeatedly. Of course she understood the importance of secrecy. You will receive a message before nightfall, Luo Feng said as he waved his hand lightly. You may go. Thank you, Supreme. Diarong Qi bowed deeply before getting up and departing. As Diarong Qi left the small building, her emotions surged. She saw Moyu Qingyan waiting at the door and felt an inexplicable twinge of envy. She offered to serve as a servant, yet the Supreme did not accept. Miss, Sua Yun hurriedly approached to greet her. Sua Yun, my father is dead, the Diarong clan is finished, Diarong Qi said. You no longer need to act as my protector. As she spoke, she patted Sua Yun on the shoulder, and a jade vial appeared inside Sua Yun's robe. Stunned, Sua Yun could hardly believe it. Diarong Qi quickly boarded the Moli clan's flying boat and left. The Diarong clan is finished? Sua Yun, who had been guarding the modest Fire Realm restaurant, was not very well informed and did not know about the events of the previous night. Sensing the small jade vial with divine power, he couldn't help feeling delighted. A full 500 primal chaos crystals. The miss is truly generous. Even with his talents, serving as a protector for the Diarong family for one era earned him only 10 primal chaos crystals. The miss was letting him go and gave him 500 primal chaos crystals, which was truly a fortune for a true god. He understood that such a large number of primal chaos crystals was given to him because of the merit points he had accrued. With these I can purchase resources to refine the bloodline of my godly body and added to my previous inheritance law with my talents, I fully aim to become a true god of void space. Sua Yun mused internally with eagerness welling up and turned to leave. At that moment, the Fire Realm restaurant's owner, Black Butcher, also noticed Sua Yun's departure. This protector, Sua Yun, has been staying at my Fire Realm restaurant all this time and he's finally leaving? The Black Butcher thought. The Diarong family's young miss who just left was also odd. Normally she comes with her own entourage of protectors. Why did she take the Moli clan's flying boat this time? The Black Butcher subtly felt something was amiss. Having struggled to reach the void true god realm after arriving in the land of origin from reincarnation cycles, he wasn't as well informed and didn't know of the annihilation of the Diarong family. Black Butcher. A commanding voice resounded as the red-haired man Duan Moyun, accompanied by several subordinates, arrived at the Fire Realm restaurant. Palace Master Duan. The portly Black Butcher greeted him enthusiastically. As the Black Butcher, a member of the law lineage who had cultivated in the land of origin for countless years, he was definitely among the top tier in the void true god realm, more than capable of suppressing Duan Moyun. However, he didn't dare to show the slightest disrespect at the moment, for the other was one of the palace masters of the Blood Python Association. It's truly rare for Palace Master Duan to visit my humble restaurant, the Black Butcher said warmly. Black Butcher, Duan Moyun spoke, I'm here to deliver an order. The Black Butcher asked puzzled, what order? Our leader has commanded that all merchants within the territory of the Blood Python Association must pay a one-time tribute fee for 100 eras, Duan Moyun said. A tribute fee for 100 eras? The Black Butcher was shocked and asked urgently, hasn't it always been just 1 era's fee at a time? I've never shortchanged the Blood Python Association in my tributes. The rules have changed, pay a one-time fee for 100 eras. After this payment, the next will be after another 100 eras, Duan Moyun said with a smile. My Blood Python Association won't overcharge you. The Black Butcher said anxiously, but where would I get so much? All merchants within our Blood Python Association's territory are the same, Duan Moyun said. You have 3 days to make the payment if you don't pay him. You should know the consequences of defying the Blood Python Association. The Black Butcher's expression turned ugly. The message has been delivered, you better hurry and prepare, Duan Moyun said as he turned and walked away with his subordinates. Master, how can we gather such a huge tribute fee in 3 days? A disciple also said worriedly. The Black Butcher shook his head slightly. Those merchants with stronger backing can ignore the Blood Python Association, but we don't have that luxury. To dare not pay at a time like this, one might lose their life without a sound. Since the Blood Python Association had decided to collect a one-time tribute fee for 100 eras, they'd surely make an example out of someone. Those who dared not pay would be killed. The Black Butcher had lived in Huang City till this day, and he knew very well what should and shouldn't be done. Though he understood, he still felt aggrieved. Sigh, it's so hard to run a small restaurant here in Huang City. The Blood Python Association is collecting a tribute fee for 100 eras? A voice sounded. The Black Butcher turned his head and saw Luo Feng and Morosa walking up to him. Supreme Herd, the Black Butcher said helplessly, it's the order of the Blood Python Association, and a small restaurant like ours has no room to resist. Indeed, the Blood Python Association is a bit mad, Luo Feng nodded. Luckily, I've had dealings with them. The Black Butcher muttered to himself. Had dealings? Who in Huang City didn't know that the river god crushed the Blood Python Association, making them obediently pay a penalty of 20,000 cosmic sand. I'll speak to them when the time comes and you should be able to avoid paying that tribute fee, Luo Feng said. That would really trouble you, my lord, the Black Butcher said repeatedly. In Huang City, some merchants with strong backing wouldn't need to pay tribute fees. It was only the weaker merchants like them who couldn't resist. If the river god spoke up, life for the small restaurant would undoubtedly improve significantly. My word should carry some weight, Luo Feng said before departing with Morosa and Moyu Qinyan. The Black Butcher watched Luo Feng leave, overflowing with joy. The Blood Python Association won't start a fight with Supreme Lord Luo he just for a small restaurant like mine. Ah, Supreme likes my little restaurant, life's going to get better from now on. Having a patron like that could save one from a lot of exploitation. Master, are we going to the Blood Python Association now? Asked Morosa, looking down at the bustling cityscape of Huang City, his eyes burning with eagerness, while the bewildered Moyu Qinyan stood beside him. Visit the Blood Python Association? Was it necessary to be so urgent for the sake of the Fire Realm restaurant? At this moment, Moyu Qinyan was still unaware of Luo Feng's intention to confront the association leader of the Blood Python. We're going now, Luo Feng nodded. Let's go. Whoosh. Luo Feng, leading his 2 servants, turned into a blur of flowing light, heading directly for the Blood Python Association headquarters. Soon, the vast, imposing expanse of the Blood Python Association headquarters came into view, teeming with Blood Python Association members scattered everywhere while the formation operated, its power terrifyingly formidable. You two stay outside and watch, Luo Feng instructed, glancing at Morosa. Yes, master, Morosa replied, while simultaneously grabbing hold of Moyu Qinyan, who was somewhat confused. Shouldn't the servants accompany their master during his visit to the Blood Python Association? Morosa transmitted a message through mental connection. Master, rest assured even if that cunning Blood Python leader manages to escape, I'll be able to intercept him. Just watch, I'll handle him. Luo Feng sent a message back telepathically and flew towards the grand entrance of the Blood Python Association headquarters. Leave the body of the Blood Python leader to me, will you? Morosa sent a telepathic message, drooling with anticipation. The body of the famous Blood Python leader would surely be far superior to that of He Duomo. Luo Feng had already flown close to the main entrance of the Blood Python Association headquarters. He also utilized the Flame Wind Pavilion's Dark Hall's transmission token to instantly accept the mission, assassinate Association leader Muyang of the Blood Python.